She's a cancer survivor, an author, and the host of Inside Edition. Deborah Norville is with us today on Spirit 105.3. It's so good having you, Deborah. And the first thing I want to ask you is, how do you stay positive doing TV news?
It's so interesting. How could you not be positive? You know, knowing that every day you get to learn something new. Oftentimes you get to talk to the person who is the one person who's making the news happen. I mean, especially when I was at the network, I literally was sitting in my office kind of just chilling out, and someone said, the Speaker of the House is here and they can't find anybody to interview him. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him.
Wow.
And it was, it was always just a fun challenge and continues to be.
Oh, that's really neat. I like that perspective.
Yeah.
Deborah, I wanted to ask you about gratitude because I didn't realize you'd written a book called Thank You Power, Making the Science of Gratitude Work for You. How is gratitude good for us as people?
It's amazing. And I wrote this book really before gratitude had become a thing. And I really just got into this because I was sort of bored at work, and I had this sense that my life went better when I focused on what was working as opposed to fixating on what went wrong. So I started going into the academic research, looking at this mind-numbingly boring journals, but reading the science that had been done. And there was this one study that had been done through the University of California, Davis, and they took 3 groups of people. And one group, they said, for 2 weeks, did you just, focus on what's going right in your life and keep a little diary about, write 3 things that work for you, why that was a good thing. To this other group, write down 3 things that are negatives and, messed up your world. And the third group was write down 3 neutral things. They did this for 2 weeks. They also had them keep a daily diary of how things were going in their life. Are you healthy? Are you sick? If you're sick, did you take medicine? Are you drinking? Are you exercising? And they asked people who worked with them, notice anything different about this person after 2 weeks. The people in the gratitude group, on average, exercised an hour and a half more per week. They had fewer illnesses because we knew how many Tylenol and Excedrins and, Zyrtex they were taking. They didn't drink as much. They felt like they were getting more in their to-do list done. But the big thing was the people around them noticed a change in behavior. They were more pro-social. They were more willing to do stuff for others. So that study sent me down this path, and it resulted in this book, which was a New York Times bestseller. It made the bestseller list in South Korea, where they erected a gratitude wall in Seoul's version of Central Park. That, to me, is so cool. So people would take Post-its and write down the stuff they were grateful for.
Wow.
It's legit, it's real, it works, and it's so easy to turn on in your life.
You're right. It's like turning on a light switch. It brings more light into your life. Deborah, I want to ask you about being a cancer survivor.
Sure.
How did that journey change your life and your faith?
Well, I've always been a woman of deep faith. I'm from the South. I've been born again since I was 15. So that didn't change at all. But what was interesting, and I don't even consider myself a cancer survivor, Erica, because for me, it was like a minute. I had a lump on my thyroid that a viewer saw and let me know, see something, say something, and thank God to this person who did, as did other people through the years, and I monitored it. So for 20 years, we would biopsy it, we would test it, and then one day the test came back malignant, and I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But we had been monitoring it on an annual basis, so it had only just turned cancerous. So they took out the lump, they took out my thyroid. I did not have chemo, I did not have radiation. So the motto of the story is twofold. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be kind of annoying or awkward the way you say it, find a way, just say it because the person needs to know. If you're fearful, there's something going on.
That's right.
And the second thing is, if you're active about your health and really stay on it, when stuff goes south, it won't be nearly as scary. So get your annual checks. See your doctor regularly. If you don't have health insurance, there are ways through Medicaid that you can get coverage and you can get seen by doctors. So please, please, please take care of your health.
Good advice. Deborah Norville, thank you so much for being with us today on Spirit 105.3.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too, dear.